So having worked with several hundred clients over more than a decade in the web industry, it's no wonder Pete Kvist is a highly sought-after consultant, speaker and presenter. With the experience of presenting to more than 100,000 people from over 100 countries around the world through his different endeavours, Pete Kvist has most certainly left his mark. He's the author of the book Why Most Websites Suck, which I think speaks volumes about the man. And will no doubt shamelessly plug this book at every opportunity today.
What? No.
Yeah,
what?
It says it. It says it there.
No, it does not.
And so he should. If I don't, it says here, if I don't tell you to buy the book off him today, he has said that he will break both my legs.
What?
He has written that. You've written that.
No,
You're
it
killing
does
me.
not.
Written with the knowledge he has obtained working in the industry for well over a decade. The book contains invaluable answers to the most commonly asked questions by clients and answers to questions people don't even know how to ask, but absolutely must know the answers to. So Peter's worked with individuals looking to start a business all the way to large companies like Virgin Mobile, NRMA, and he's currently a brand ambassador for the Ford Motor Company. His experience is vast and broad. He has appeared on television both locally and globally, from all the major Australian networks to global networks such as BBC worldwide. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you please stand to your feet and give a huge round of applause to the funny man he is, Pete Kvist.
Thank you, sir. Wow, standing ovation. No need to be patronising. What a great impromptu introduction that was,
I just made it up as I went.
Unbelievable. Thanks, Stephen. Actually, I did pop into my pocket a couple of pre-notes before I get started. How is everyone doing, by the way? Doing good? You feel like you've had some really good value today? Yes. So that means I can be completely crap and you won't care? Okay, good. Just glad to get that out of the way. So a couple of caveats on today. The first one I've got here is I've been renovating in the last few weeks. Who here has ever renovated, or they've got a trade business, or they know someone who's renovated? Yep, so I've been around tradies all week, so my language might be a bit interesting. Usually I promise, usually I'm really clean. But today I might not be able to help myself and slip out a word which is inappropriate for the children, okay? So just be warned. Have a pen and paper ready. Not because I'm going to give really good notes, but you might kind of write down the fact that you left the oven on or something like that, so it's really handy to have the pen and paper. I will get you to write a couple of things down as we go. I'll make it interactive as we go along as well. Is that okay? Yes. Beautiful. For everyone in the front rows, I apologise in advance. Has anyone here ever been to say Blue Man Group or Cirque du Soleil where they've got the water and stuff? Has anyone ever been to those? What happens to the people that sits in the front row? They get wet. I get excited and I start spitting. So you're going to wear my lunch at some stage, all right? I apologise in advance, okay? Okay, is that all right? So just hoods up if you need to. This is one thing I wanted to say. Obviously, I've got a bit of experience speaking. And it's funny, people always ask me about speaking and they say, oh, I don't know how you do it. And they say, I get really nervous when I speak. And here's the thing. Right now, I'm really nervous. Yeah? The funny thing about that is I always know in my head, if I turn up for a speaking engagement and I'm not nervous, it means I don't care enough about the outcome. So if you ever get nervous, if you ever speak to a group, if you're not nervous, you don't care enough about the outcome. But you know what? It's not about me. It's about you guys. Today, it's about everyone in the room. It's not about how I feel. It's not about the message that I'm delivering. It's about what you take home from this. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. This event is extraordinary. Stephen puts together some amazing people, and I am honoured to be on this stage and really excited to be on this stage. But the fact of the matter is, I have a bit of a problem with it. Do you know why? It should cost 10 to 20 times as much. Do you know why? Because if you paid 10 to 20 times more for this exact same content, you would be sitting in that seat differently right now. True or true? Just because you've paid, like, let's be honest, don't tell me out loud, but think in your head, what's some dumb stuff that you've done for $395 in the past? Why is that funny? Someone in the break was telling me about a trip to Thailand and a girl named Barry, but anyway, let's not talk about that. What? But do you know what I'm getting at? Do you follow what I'm saying here? Do you agree? If you paid 10 times more, you'd think about it differently. So I'm going to challenge you, not because of me, but because of all the content here, because of the networking that you do. The value is not in what I say. The value is in the people around you, the people at your table. The value is in Stephen Dixon and his team. And that is what you're going to take home. Okay? So sorry, that's my soapbox. Yeah, is that okay? We'll get that out of the way. No worries. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of things today. These are not the only way to do things with regards to websites. It is a way, it's not the only way. I want to get that clear. I also will talk about above the fold. I'll explain that in a second with regards more so to the computer aspect of it. But it's exactly the same for mobile as well. So I simply don't have time to go into everything today, but this all applies to a mobile presence of your website as well. Also, I want to acknowledge the previous speakers today, Kim and Andrew. Have they not been phenomenal? How about a round of applause for those guys? I've known AJ, Andrew for a while, and we've had a bit of fun up the back today. Kim, I'd never met before today, and I remember when Stephen mentioned the word ninja, and you hear about these ninja high-level strategies, but they weren't high-level strategies, man. They were on another planet, right? That's unbelievable stuff. And no matter where your business is right now, there's something in that you'll be taking home. You may not have written it down, you might not have thought about it, but there's something that you'll take home out of that, and you might think about it later on. Unreal. So, Kim, fantastic. Love your work. Unreal. Okay, here's what I want everyone to do because we're late in the afternoon. Everyone, I need you to stand up. Everyone's going, oh, shit, he's interactive. Just walk over to someone you've never met before. You don't know who they are. Walk over to someone that you've never met before. And here's what I want you to do. No. Don't get their life story. Stop. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your hand on their shoulder. I want you to look them in the eye and I want you to say, don't touch me. Go on, sit down. I did say shoulder as well, by the way. Saw a couple of pats on the bum there. I don't know what that was all about. Okay, so above the fold. Who has heard of the term above the fold before? Who has not heard of the term above the fold ever before? And who won't put their hands up no matter what I say? There's always a few. Okay, so above the fold is an old newspaper term. Think back many decades when newspapers were the main media. They sat in newspaper racks, kind of like this, like my notes would, like that. I don't read from notes the whole time. This was just to remind me of my caveats. But when you sat a newspaper in a rack, what's written above the fold is what the person reads when they walk past. That sells your newspaper, what's written above the fold. With regards to a website, when a website page loads, above the fold is what you see on the screen. That's above the fold. If you load a website on your mobile phone, above the fold is what you see without scrolling. Why is that important? First impression. And in a lot of cases, it's the only impression you're going to get. And people are going to make a judgment based on that and that alone. So that's the above the fold, and we'll talk about that in length. So grab your pen and paper, like I said. I'm going to ask a few rapid-fire questions. I just need you to write down the answers. The first one is, I want you to write down which day of the week comes first alphabetically. Question number 2, name a colour. Question number 3, what is 2 plus 2? Question number 4, name a tool. Question number 5, what is your name? And question number 6, name a vegetable. Okay, be honest. Who thought about their answers? Who thought about all the answers? Who didn't think about the answers and just wrote some stuff down? Okay, I want to show you something. Be honest. How many of you had at least one of these 3? 2 of the 3? And all 3 of the 3? Okay, you guys are the ones with problems, right? No, I'm just kidding. Red, hammer, carrot. Why did we just do this exercise? Because I wanted to explain to you that in our lives, we do a lot of things without thinking. Some things we think about, like which day of the week comes first alphabetically? Which day is it? Everyone's like, is it Friday? No. You're telling me the answer, not asking the question. It's Friday, right? But you had to think about it. But when I say things like, what's 2 + 2, you don't think about it, do you? You know it. There's a little thing in your memory that says, I know the answer to that. Same with your name. There's a thing in your memory that says, I know what my name is. So why do people say red or hammer or carrot? It's because your brain has created shortcuts. Who knows this? Who's aware of this? Your brain has created subconscious shortcuts because it couldn't be bothered thinking about everything. So for a lot of you, when I talk about a colour, how many said red? Yep. So when I talk about a colour, and that's usually the most popular answer, most people associate red as a colour. How many said hammer? Wow. Who said something bizarre, right? Anyone? A pick? Wow, we've all got problems, haven't we? Jeez. That's an interesting one. But that's your quick reference. You think of tool, you think of hammer. You think of vegetable, how many said carrot? Quite a few. Isn't that amazing? Here's another one. Just say it out loud. Name a piece of furniture.
Chair.
I think I had someone say, waterbed. Now make me rich, funny guy. I was just talking with Megan before about why we do things that we do, even though we are consciously aware, but we subconsciously think about something else. And we're saying how Stephen puts his clocks forward a few minutes. He knows he's put his clocks forwards a few. I do that. Who else does that? Wow. People say I've got OCD. I say I've got CDO because I've got to put the letters in alphabetical order. Yeah? I know the clock's forward a few minutes, but it helps me. Why do we do it? I don't know. Yeah, have you ever heard that? Who here is married? Yeah, we have got problems. Your partner says things like, why do you do that? I don't know. You know that it's not good for you? I know. So why do you do it? I don't know. What I wanted to point out, there is a point to this. I'll get there eventually, Stephen, trust me. 76 slides. Good luck with this one. The point is that when people come to your website, they're going to look and think a certain way without consciously making decisions. They're all going to be subconscious decisions about what's going on. And that's really important, okay? So now that we are consciously aware that this sort of thing is going on, right? Has anyone seen this game before? I'll put a word on the screen and it'll be coloured in a certain colour. I want you to say what colour it is, not what the word says. Does that make sense? So in this case, you would say red, yep, for the word colour. Here's the first one, for example. It's red and it's red. We want to say the colour. Everyone's going to say it out loud, as quick as you can, quickly. I don't want people to go, blue. Let's try out. You ready? Here we go. It's quick. You guys suck at this game. Where did you get these people, Stephen? These are the hobos you were talking about here, rallied in the room. Are you ready? You want to keep going? Let's go again.
Blue. Red. Orange.
Green.
Yellow. Black. Red.
It's hard, right? You know consciously what's going on, but your subconscious is just spitting out these other words. Tongue twisters are exactly the same. I want everyone to repeat after me. Are you ready? Just warm up your voice. You ready? I want you all to say, don't pause and think about it, just say it. Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch.
A lot of Irish wristwatches. Say it again. Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch.
Try this one. One smart fellow, he felt smart. Lots of smart fellows smelling fart in the room. Go home and try it with your kids. A lot of fun, right? But here's the thing. Again, we consciously know what I'm doing there, but we can't help what happens with our subconscious. And that's what's happening to visitors of your website. You're trying to do all these things to go, oh, this is amazing, this is awesome, and they don't care. And in a lot of cases, they don't have control over what they're thinking because it's all happening in their subconscious mind. Okay. Oh, hey, that's me. That's me with my latest book, Why Most Websites Suck. I'll be selling copies for $20 at the back of the room, and I'll sign them for you as well. Plus, I'll give you a bunch of freebies, but I'm not promoting that book today. So that's me. So this is what people think that I do. Sit in front of computers, do websites, all that sort of thing. That's probably a more accurate description of what I actually do. But the question that we're asking today is, why do people do what they do without thinking? Yeah, and it's that whole subconscious mind thing. And here's a good answer as well. Who's heard of this radio station, WIIFM? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Yeah? Your customers only care about what's in it for me. Who here already has a website? Who here doesn't have a website, just so I know? Okay, there's a couple of you. Who here has a website that sucks? Who here has a website that's really quite profitable and they're really happy with it? Okay, so there's a lot of people that said they had a website, but they didn't answer yes to one of those two. Well, it's either one or the other. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, right? Who here, their website sucks? There's a few more hands go up that time, okay? Who here has a website where on the home page it has welcome to my website or welcome to XYZ business? Who here has that on their home page? That's the first thing you can get rid of on your website, right? Yeah. Today we're going to talk about something with, it's, as our friend George would say, it's not rocket surgery. Okay, let's get a bit of interaction here. Because I'm here to say what I teach isn't actually that groundbreaking. You all know this stuff, but you just kind of don't think about it very much. So let's start with dislike. So can we get an idea off some people? What are some of the things that you dislike about other websites that you go to? Does anyone want to have a crack?
When these bloody things pop up and you can't switch them off, they're sort of talking to you about the same thing. I hate
The short answer would have been fine. I could feel the emotion involved in that. If you didn't hear, she said, can I say it with the swear words in there still? Okay, no, she said pop-ups, like pop-ups that you can't close and pop up and stuff like that. Okay, so something like pop-ups. What else? What else do we dislike about websites? Crappy design, auto videos. Auto vids. Too much info, can't find. I heard someone say loading. Geez, there's a lot of stuff. You guys have a lot of grudges. Page loading. Now, here's the funny thing about some of these dislikes. Some of them, bear with me on this. Some of them you dislike and it's very bad. Some of them you dislike, but it actually has a really good result for the person's website. Yeah, so you go, I hate those bloody pop-ups, but gee, their free guide that I downloaded was extra special. Yeah, or I hate self-loading videos, but this one website I went to, it was exactly what I was looking for. I'll get onto that in a second as well. So there's just some of the dislikes, right? So keep that in mind. Let's go to what you might like about a website. Now let's talk about a website. Let's talk about any websites. What are some of the things you like about a website? Ease of navigation. Yep, what else? Oh, mobile responsive. Yep. Hang on, does everyone know what mobile responsive after I explained it earlier? Yeah, mobile responsive. Well, responsive actually means it changes sizes depending on your screen, and it can work on a mobile device all the way up to a computer, as opposed to a separate website for a mobile device. If you've got enough cash, a separate website for a mobile device is probably appropriate, but for most of us, you just don't need to. A responsive website is a good, cheap way of getting that happening. What else? Find what you're looking for, yep. Yep, so not only is the navigation clear, but it's accurate. What else? Contact information. Okay. Easy to find. Everyone's talking about this easy to find, easy to navigate. You're all listening to WIIFM, right? Who here has already learnt something about their own website? Be honest. Honest. And let me ask again, who here has already learnt something about their own website? Who here already has at least one thing they can change on their own website? Wow. This job's easy, Stephen. This crowd, piece of cake. Here are the questions you need to answer for your ideal customer above the fold. We'll talk about ideal customer in a second. Number one, who are you and what do you do? Nothing more frustrating than going to a website and you don't know who they are. You don't know what the website's about. Who are you and what do you do? By the way, would everyone like a copy of these slides? Yes. $50 a piece, no problems. We've already got your credit card details. No, I'll pass them on to Stephen. Stephen, you'll make them available for the members? Happy days, no worries. Who are you and what do you do? Number two, what's in it for me? How do I find what it is I am looking for? I don't give a crap about what you want to show me. How do I find what it is I am looking for? Yep. You guys told me that a second ago. I don't even need to put these slides up. Do I? You know this. And number three, what is the next logical step in our relationship? And this is one of those subconscious things. We don't go to a website thinking, gee, I hope they tell me what the next logical step is in our relationship. You didn't say that on our likes. Gee, I love it when they tell me what the next logical step is in our relationship. But the fact is, what's the old saying? Now I am pulling out the George Bushisms. Fool man can't go fooled again. I forgot my train of thought now, who cares? Next logical step in our relationship, right? Your website is another shop front. What image? What image is your website portraying? It's not a website, it's a sign, but you get the idea. People judge you and your business based on how you appear. I just got these off Stephen's Facebook wall, so thank you, sir. No comment. Okay, let's move on. What if I said one of these people was a Supreme Court judge? Which one is it? 1, 2, 3, or 4? One of them is a Supreme Court judge. Which one? Who says 1? Who says 2? Who says 3? And who says 4? Do you want to know the truth? None of them. But you just told me that number 4 is a Supreme Court judge.
Why did we say that?
Based on what information? The fact that I stood up here and said one of them is a Supreme Court judge, you're like, Pete said it's true. It must be true. I believe you. Do you ever notice that happening on Facebook as well? Facebook is shutting down. Anyway, people judge you and your business based on how you appear. Have a look at the person next to you and what they're wearing right now. They say that to events like these, you have 5 favourite outfits. You have chosen one of those 5 favourite outfits for today. Have another look at the person next to you. That's one of their 5 favourite outfits. You judging bastards. There's laughter. That's terrible. Have I made my point? You've already judged me. Yeah? Whether you like it or not, consciously or subconsciously, you've judged me. You know, he's too good looking, he's too charismatic, he's too funny. I've got a story. Remember I'm renovating? I said to Stephen, I've got a problem. It's a 2-day event and I only had one nice shirt put aside while I was renovating. And well, let's be honest, it was one that my wife picked out for me. So I had to go into my laundry basket and lo and behold, this shirt was in there from before. So yes, this is one of my 5 favourite shirts. As for the shoes, well, unfortunately I didn't have any business shoes and I didn't have business trousers, so jeans it is, okay? But you know what? You already would have made a judgment based on that. Yes? Whether you like it or not. So what do people think and do when they come to your website? Do they, 1, leave, or do they, 2, take action? Now, take action might be scrolling, clicking, doing what you want them to do. There's an example of a website. Who knows what you're going to do on that page? That is the question you need to ask yourself every day. Who has analytics on their website? Who does not have analytics on their website? Write that down. Analytics. Google product, Google Analytics. Any web developer can add it. It is a fairly simple process. Worse still, if you're not in control of your online presence, who is? And people go, I say to people, have you got a website? No, I haven't. Or yeah, I put it up. I don't really do anything with it. Here's the problem. Everyone else is controlling your online presence. Don't just think if you sit there with your head in the sand that no one will find you online. People are finding you online. What are they finding? That is the scary thing. If you're in control of your website, you're in control of your content, then in that case, you know what people are looking at. Your website should be easy to use. You told me that. I didn't have to get paid $25,000 to stand up here and tell you that. 25, Steve? It's worth a shot. Here's an idea. It's funny, when we're in school, it's called cheating. When we're adults, it's called market research. Have you noticed that? Don't copy it exactly. Get ideas from what works. Who has ever done that with anything in their business? I'm going to give you a clue. None of my material is original. Because I've had to learn it somewhere, right? Copy what works. Oh, this is the most important slide in my presentation. Yep. Just because you think it looks awesome doesn't make it awesome. Do you understand? Has anyone here got photos from the 1980s – that they may or may not regret? Did you think that hairstyle, crimping? Who, ladies? I can see some no. Even some of the men are like, yeah, I remember the crimping. Just because you think it looks awesome doesn't make it awesome. So this is why we talk about things like analytics. And another one which we haven't got time to go into today is called split testing. I would love to talk on that. Split testing is taking sample A versus sample B and finding out which one works best. Not just with websites. Who does mail flyers or anything like that? Handouts, stuff like that? Split test them. If you're doing big numbers, not small numbers, big numbers. I haven't done a mailbox campaign for like 14 years for a client, and I'm doing one right now. And you know, the first thing I did was pull out all my split test results from 14 years ago. And the test A is what was working 14 years ago. Will it work today? Maybe. I don't know. But do you know what? I didn't hand it to the client and say, this is awesome, it's going to work. I handed it to the client and said, we've got to start somewhere. Yep. The fact is, the flyer that I use, and I'd be happy to have this conversation with someone else, what worked 14 years ago, and I ran hundreds of thousands of flyers and split tested well over a dozen different styles. And you'd be stunned which one tested best. What size it was, what format it was, whether it was double-sided or single-sided, whether it was colour or black and white. Would you like to hear? Okay. Who wants to tell me what size it is? Who says DL? A4, DL is a third of an A4? That one? Who says A5? That's half an A4. Who says A4? Who says something else? It's A5. A5 out-tested DL by about 10 to 1. In the test that I ran. Might not be the same in your business, just letting you know. Was it single-sided or double-sided? Single-sided. What colour was the paper? White. Out-tested yellow. Maybe that was just us, it did. But there's a twist on that I'll get to in a second. Colour or black and white? Black and white. Here's the kick. You know, little post-it notes? Get a stamp made. Handwrite something like, worth a look. Turn it into a stamp. Put it on the post-it note, put the post-it note on the flyer. It looks like you've handwritten, worth a look. You put that in someone's mailbox, they pull it out, it's different. Now, did their neighbour put it in their letterbox and say it's worth a look? Or is this some other junk mail campaign? No one does it, right? It stands out. That is a significant out-testing model in my experience. I'm not saying that will work for everyone. I'm not saying everyone should go out and do it. I'm just telling you what worked for me. Did I think it looked awesome? Did I think it looked awesome? No, it didn't. It's a headline. It's got a picture in the top right-hand corner and a bit of copy. Looks rubbish. Looks so crap. I guarantee you everyone in this room would say that's rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. Out-tested everything. Just because you think it looks awesome doesn't make it awesome. Okay, the test. So, sorry that this is a little bit small, but let's see how we go with this one. Which of these images would work best on an ad for weight loss for men? Okay, this is an ad for weight loss for men. You know how you get the little icon like, I think it was a Facebook ad, had the picture and a bit of text. The text was exactly the same. They ran these 5 pictures. Who says A? And you have to participate. Who says A? The favourite guy. Who says B? My picture. That's me. What? Who says C? A few people. Who says D? A couple. And who says E? Okay, so it sounds like C and E were the most popular. You'll be surprised to know that the click-through rate on these ads were... So had I have listened to anyone that said E, if we have a look at the money each of these tests made, you would have just lost your business $106,000 because you thought that picture E was the most appropriate. Do you see what I'm getting at? It doesn't matter what you or I think. Your customers will let you know. Yeah? Are we shocked? Is everyone asleep? Is it that bad? Hey, that's a great point. Who is trying to figure out why? Don't. Don't. Who cares? I just made you an extra $100,000. Why did you make me an extra $100,000? Because that one works. Yeah, but I don't like that picture. Do you see what I'm getting at? Don't think about it. Let the market decide for you. Okay. So let's talk about your homepage of your website. Now, usually I talk a lot about all aspects of websites. We're just talking about the homepage above the fold right now. As a, I won't get into the whole homepage versus landing page thing. I just wanted to put a Lego picture in there. That's pretty much it. The point is, most people that come to your homepage will do so because they already know your name. Yeah? If you have a look at your Google Analytics, most businesses that I work with, most businesses, not all, most businesses, for their homepage, the search term that people are entering is the business name. Yep. Or if people navigate back to the homepage after being on your website, you've already built some sort of relationship with them in the content that you have there, and they've come back to the homepage. So it's your opportunity to make that first impression as an overall business. Who's seen The Wolf of Wall Street? Good movie? I like it. I had this slide. I met a guy called Todd Duncan. Who's heard of Todd Duncan? He's a sales guy. Met him many years ago, and Todd Duncan sat in the auditorium, and he, we'll do the exercise now. Why not? It only takes us 30 seconds. So pair up with someone at your table or someone at the next table. Just find someone, say pair up, pair up, pair up. Okay, I want you to quickly pick an A and pick a B. Pick an A, pick a B. What does that say about your personality? Person B, I want you to hold up a pen. Person A is not allowed to say a word. Person B, you have 30 seconds. Sell the pen, go. Who just bought the pen off the other person? One person. Be honest. Who sat there and started talking about the pen? Who started talking about the pen? Oh, look, it's like blue and it's like got good grip and it writes. Who did that? Honestly. Honestly. Fail. Why? Does anyone want to someone maybe who's seen The Wolf of Wall Street who has done this before, does someone want to, is there anyone in the room that understands this really well? Yeah, you do? Stephen, can we grab a microphone down? Sorry, what's your name? James. So, James, have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street, or is this something you've done before? Both. Both? Beautiful. Excellent. You're my man. Okay, James, tell me about this process. What should we be doing? What did we do wrong?
You tried to sell the features of the pen.
What should we have done?
Sell the benefit, the reason why you need the pen.
Give me an example.
Well, the example that I first got shown was a renovator doesn't need the drill bit. He just needs the hole. So he doesn't care what the drill bit does. He just needs the hole at the end of the day. Same with the pen. You don't need to know how good to write with it or all the features. It's blue. You just need to know that you need to write with it.
Beautiful. Give him a round of applause. It's a need. Create a need. Don't sell the pen until you've created a need for them to buy it. In The Wolf of Wall Street, the guy goes, he says, sell me the pen. He goes, give me the pen. Grabs a pen and he says, sign your name. He goes, I haven't got a pen. Yeah? how many people, let's take 10 seconds, have a little think with yourself. How does this relate to your website? Who here is having some light bulb moments about their own website right about now? Just 2 of you. Oh, I'm going home. Serious? Do you realise what I'm getting at here? I see some heads nodding. Because on our website, we're telling them how good we are and what we do, and we've done this, and our products are awesome, before we've created a need. Who's done this process before? Who is your ideal customer? Not him? How do you know? Too handsome. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down for the next minute. Yep. And I want you to write down on your pad, who is your ideal customer? Who's having problems with this already? Struggling? Who's struggling with this already? Honesty is okay. Just pause for a second. We'll keep going. Who here has been really broad just then? A couple of you? Okay. I want to challenge you for a second. When I say who is your ideal customer, your ideal customer is one person. One person. They have a name. They have an age. They live somewhere. They have an income. They may or may not have pets, kids, partner. They may or may not drive a car. They may or may not have a job. The more specific you get with your ideal customer, the less decisions you have to make in your marketing. Why is that? Because you're targeting. Yeah? Don't worry if your ideal customer is this guy. 16-year-old girls still may buy your product. Not saying in this case. They're called peripherals. Peripherals will still buy, but that's not where we're focusing our marketing attention. I go and see businesses, they say, oh, who's your ideal customer? Oh, anyone around the world. Well, how are you going to target your advertising? Shotgun versus laser approach. If you know that one ideal customer, every decision you make becomes that easy. Every decision. Because you know exactly who you're marketing to. And if you think that this isn't something that big businesses do, just go and watch McDonald's ads for the next 2 weeks. Even though they're such a big company, they do their marketing campaigns in blocks. And they'll still be doing that today and marketing to a very specific segment of their target audience. Yeah? Just watch. I love, what's one of my favourites? The Coles down, prices are down. Yep, they throw in a few peripherals in there to try and mix it up. It's pretty obvious who their target market is. Jeep. Kids saying Jeep in photos. So it's their target audience is people with kids of that age. The mum and dads. Also that the kids go home and say, Mum and Dad, we need a Jeep. That can also be a pretty good approach. Anyway, so have another 30 seconds. Get specific. Get specific. Go. All right. I know that's a very short time frame. I just wanted to get you started, but that's something to go back to your business, maybe discuss with your business partners, discuss with your family. Maybe you need to ask your customers. Let them tell you. By the way, you can never unsee that slide. Yeah? And there it is again if you missed it, all right? So, okay. Okay, another quick task. You've got your ideal customer, or at least we're on the road to it. If I'm your ideal customer and I come to your website, what is it that you can offer me that I must have? I must take action on. Now, it doesn't have to be something of value. It can be of perceived value. It can be something of value. It can be of perceived value. It can, in some cases, I know, for example, like Surf Stitch do a 10% off your first order. Now, that's pretty appropriate because they're there to sell stuff in a shop, so 10% off your first order kind of makes sense. If your ideal customer is there to buy in the first place, so I'm going to give them 10% off, well, I must have that. No thanks, don't want the 10% off, just give me the full price. Yeah, you see what I'm getting at? I don't like, AJ talked about discounting before. I don't like discounting either. I like value adding. Yeah? So think about what is it that you can offer your ideal customer, that they come to your website and they go, I must have that. If you need to, when you go home, go and have a look at some other websites and see that you like and see what they offer. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be something of like physical. It can be an action point. I'll show you an example in a minute whereby the ideal customer is someone that is desperate to get an answer now. So what am I offering them that they must have? Instant access to an answer. You've got to think outside the box on this. We've just got, the businesses in this room are too diverse. Yeah? I was chatting with Graham before and he's got his butcher shop. You can't say, like, I'll give you a sausage. Or can you? That's when it comes back to our ideal customer. It's genius, right? Build a relationship with your customers. If they come to your website, you've got an opportunity to start a relationship. If you can collect their details in return for something that they go, I must have that, you can build a long-term relationship with them. Not, I'll get them on my database and I'll start selling. No, it's add value, add value, add value, add value, make appropriate offer. Add value, add value, add value, add value, make appropriate offer. I remember someone taught me a term a while ago. It's called change in pocket. When I do something for you, I'm putting change in your pocket. I'm building up credit. So then when I ask you to buy, you reach into your pocket and you're like, you know what? I've got an investment here from them in me. It's no problems for me to give some money back because you've already given me value. You put change in my pocket. Build a relationship with your customers. Some businesses do this well, some businesses do not. It's an easy way to stand out in the marketplace.
Can you give us an example of adding value before a customer purchases something?
Great question. Can I give an example of adding value before a customer purchases? What do you do?
Oh, I don't do anything. I just was
Someone want to throw a business at me? Building. I heard building. Yep. That was the first one that I heard. So building as an example, how do we add value to building before we ask them to buy? Well, there's a lot of different ways to go about this. I'll just give you one example. It might be, here's a gardening guide on how to get your dream garden. Here's the latest bathroom trends. Here's the how to negotiate with a tiler. Not that I'm doing that at the moment and it's causing me frustration. I'm not bitter. Yeah? Here's the DIY home interiors. Then it's the, by the way, if you ever want someone to handle all this for you, just give me a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if we're not a good fit for each other. Yeah? I've added value, added value, added value, made an offer. Yeah? All good? Cool. Who can name these two psychologists? Anyone know both of them? Does anyone know the guy on the left? Dr. Phil. Does anyone know the guy on the right? No, it's not Carl Jung, it's not Stan Lee. It's not Freud. It's B.F. Skinner. Does anyone know who B.F. Skinner is? A few of you. Psychologists in the room, right? How does that make you feel? No. B.F. Skinner was arguably the leading psychologist of the 20th century. Dr. Phil is currently not a practicing psychologist. So why do you know who Dr. Phil is, who's not a practicing psychologist, but you don't know who B.F. Skinner is? Marketed, credibility, or perceived credibility. I stand up here on this stage and you instantly look at me and go, he's credible. One of these four is a Supreme Court judge. Oh, okay, we believe you because you're on the stage, Pete. I've written a book. I must be credible. Dr. Phil has a TV show. He's credible. What can you do with your business? Remember, people are judging you by how you look. Yeah? Make sure that your perception is the same quality as the work that you deliver. This is an interesting one, social proof. So this is stuff to consider above the fold, by the way. That's why we're talking about this. Social proof. Who's ever been somewhere that they've never been before and they had no idea where they were going to eat that night? You walk down the street. Who here has ever done this? Be honest. You've walked past a place because it was empty. You've walked into a place because it was busy. Why? Is that, I mean, you're all saying perception, it must be good. Is that true? Not necessarily. Does McDonald's make the best hamburger in the world? One looks cheap, one looks expensive. Yeah, well, that goes back to what we were talking about before with the persona that you're portraying. This one is social proof. It's like, if it's busy, it must be good. If it's not busy, it's no good. You're not going to go into a nightclub if it's empty, but if a nightclub is full, well, maybe I'm not going to go into it, but you know what I'm getting at, right? Social proof. So how do you create social proof around your business? Things like testimonials. Things like if you've got really good social proof with social media, like a lot of likes or followers on different social platforms, have that front and center. People want to be a part of that sort of thing. If you walked into this room today and there was one table at the front and, you know, there was a milk crate and Stephen was standing on it, you'd probably go, oh, must be the wrong room. But you walk in and we've got these amazing balloons, we've got all these people in the room, and therefore we go, this is going to be good. And then you get me. Yeah. Every website should have some sort of call to action. Yeah. People need something to do. What is the next logical step in our relationship? Yeah, I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different things. But every website above the fold should have a distinct and prominent call to action. What's going on with this slide? What do you look at? The warning. See the button in the corner? Why did you look at the warning? Because it's a distraction. What on your website is distracting people from doing what they should be doing? If you've got something above the fold on your homepage that is not directed towards the next logical step in the relationship, get rid of it. It's not serving you any purpose. I love it. Vanity images is one of them. You know, here's a stock image of a girl twirling in a field of daisies, and we sell car parts. You're laughing because you've seen it before, right? You know what I'm talking about. Contact details. Poor George. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah. When people come to a website, tell me if you've done this as well. I'm just going to say it as if it's truth, but I'm sure you'll agree. You go to websites and you find out, it's like, where's their contact details? Where's their address? Where's their phone number? Are they a real business? What about this? Answer me honestly, irrespective of what you have on your own website, if you see a mobile phone number on a website, is it less or more credible than a landline number? Hang on, hands up if you think less. Depends what the business is, but here's my point. What did I say before? It doesn't matter what you or I think. Let the customers decide. So, look, don't get me wrong. We can go ahead and think, well, these days it's becoming less and less. I agree, it is. But the fact is, everyone in the room is just, not everyone, but a lot of people in the room have just told me it's less credible. Am I going to stand here and go, well, they might think it's less credible, but I think it's good, so I'm going to go with it? Look, any phone number is better than no phone number at all, yeah? It's important to note, yes, it is definitely becoming less of an issue today. But the fact is, that brings us back to the point, let the numbers decide, not what we think it is. Yeah? Okay, let's take a quick look through the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is a website for Hyperbubble. Is that a good website? They didn't pass the first test. Who are you and what do you do? What about this one? A rainbow just threw up on my page. What about this one? Do you want to know what's awesome about this website? If you look really close, this says, please enter by clicking here or on logo or on photo. I can't get in. Write down lingscars.com and have a look at the website later. Has anyone ever heard of angren.net? Do you think this website sucks? I'd have it. You know why? They make a lot of money. A lot of money. Could you improve it? Yeah, of course you could. But that website already makes money. Well, why change it? That's why we kind of measure and test. But just because we think it doesn't look great doesn't mean it doesn't make money. Familiar with that page? Why is that page so good? There's no clutter, is there? There's only one thing to do. One call to action. Well, there's two. Search or I'm feeling lucky. Dropbox, that's what their page looks like. Your stuff anywhere. We're assuming that people know what the business is, so you can either sign up, sign in, or there's a little learn more down the bottom. No distractions. Asana. I don't know, which one do you use, Stephen, for tasks and projects and teamwork? Yep, so ironically, these guys are teamwork without email. I think maybe that's an SEO trick, but the point is, Asana puts conversations and tasks together, blah, blah, blah. Not many options going on there, is there? Not much distraction. This is a website example of a client that I've worked with, because we can't all have websites like Google, because people are going to need to know something, right? So this kind of puts some elements into place. Again, top right-hand corner, it has a mobile number. They don't have a landline, but a phone number is better than nothing. This is a fitness company. You just ran out of excuses to get fit. If that's the ideal customer is, funnily enough, an early 20s female, comes to the website, she looks at that and goes, I just ran out of excuses to get fit. Well, if they just ran out of excuses to get fit, you can claim your free Fire Fitness Crew Training Pass now. That is an offer they must have. And if they don't click on that, they're not our ideal customer. They can scroll down, there's more info, there's more stuff to do, no problems. But the ideal customer would get to that and go, I must have that. In this case, there's also a video which has a bunch of testimonials, and it kind of helps into the sale thing, but it's all directed subtly towards that very different coloured button standing out very specifically. Couple of testimonials there, and how do I find what it is that I'm looking for? Well, they do group one-on-one, or you can take your first step. We'll give you 3 options down there if you keep searching. This is a building company, a site that we're working on at the moment. Again, logo, very small, because no one cares about your logo. They don't care, they care about themselves. The ideal customer is someone who's been searching for a home builder, but they're frustrated with what they find out there. The search for your award-winning dream home builder ends now, because it's prestige. They want award-winning. Who's got kids that they're aware of? This is another different call to action. The 2 options are get started or learn more. And I remember my sister told me this trick. She said with her daughters, what they do is they always give them 2 options. They never tell them what to do, especially when there's friction. They give them 2 options. So would you like to brush your teeth now and you can play your video game for half an hour in the morning? Or would you like to play your video game for 5 minutes now, then brush your teeth, but tomorrow morning we can't play it at all? I'll brush my teeth now. It doesn't always happen that way. I know you know that. But it's a lot more effective because you've let them make their own choice. Anyway, social proof underneath. Big picture of the dream. Remember we talked about ideal customer? The picture should relate to what they want. It's sell the people what they want and give them what they need. Yeah. One of the first seminars I went and did, it was advertised as a financial seminar. I wanted financial intelligence. I went along to the seminar. What was the seminar about? Mindset, goal setting, planning. There's a little bit about the money stuff. But you need to get the mind in place before that will flow on, right? Sell the people what they want, give them what they need. Does that make sense? This one's an interesting one because I'd never heard of what food safety companies were. But I put this example up here because the ideal customer was so specific. This is the most specific ideal customer I've ever dealt with in my life. And his name's Stan. And when Stan comes to this website, he comes to this website because he is absolutely desperate. He needs an answer. He needs an answer right now. He hasn't got time to read any of your crap, and he wants to know that you're credible. That is all this person is. So they come to the website. Do you need expert food safety solutions fast? Yes. Well, you've pretty much got 2 options. You can call us now with a number in the corner, or you can fill in your details and get the one-on-one strategy session. Super effective, really effective website. And with a client list like that, why wouldn't you have it on your website, right? Social proof. Geez, they've dealt with Woolies and Kellogg's and Arnott's and Kraft and Coles and Subway and Gloria Jeans. They must be good. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. Geez, he's not that funny anymore, is he? Got very serious. How can I do this on my own website? I loved what Kim was talking about with virtual assistants and outsourcing. I love that stuff. Actually, I was saying to Stephen, if anyone does want to grab a copy of my book, not that I'm promoting it in any way, shape or form, but It's got a bunch of bonuses. Some of them are outsourcing based as well, including I've got an online course on a website called Fiverr, which I'll show you what it looks like in a sec. Got an online course on that, and I'll throw that in as well. I'll give you a free coupon code for that too, to take that as well. So you can outsource this stuff. If you're not good at it, get someone else to do it for you, right? And people always, when I wrote the book, my editor came back to me and said, Pete, you got to rewrite this chapter. Why? She said, because you talk about outsourcing as if it's all done overseas and it's a way of getting stuff done cheap. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, how did you find me? I said, Odesk. Where do I live? Brisbane. Oh. And then we had a conversation about if you get a blocked toilet in your house, yeah, and you look at it and it's not obvious what to do you go onto the internet and try and learn how to become a plumber, qualify yourself, and then try and fix your toilet? Or do you just pick up the phone and call a 24-hour emergency plumbing and go, hey, come and fix my unblocked toilet? Which do you do? Call a plumber. You're outsourcing. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Yeah? That's outsourcing. Doing stuff that you don't know how to do, you don't want to do, or you don't have time to do, or that it's cheaper to do. So, action steps you can take right now. This is what the Fiverr website looks like, and I love that as a homepage above the fold for the same reason. It is pretty obvious what they want you to do. What do you need done? Find it on Fiverr, browse now. Click, done, we're in. Beautiful. And the premise of the website Fiverr is things you can get done for $5, which is awesome because that's exactly how I met my wife. I just wanted to see if you're awake. I'm so glad you can't see that slide, but you can even get someone to sing happy birthday wearing a mankini. Spoiler alert, that's what you're getting for Christmas, Stephen. This is Odesk, that's what the interface looks like. Again, the home page, very clean, crisp, knows exactly what to do. You post a job, people apply, you hire them. It's that simple. My message is, as always, to dive in, because it's the only way you can ever test the water. You've got to take the first steps. But that's it from me, and I hope you guys got something out of today's presentation.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks, bud. Killed it. How funny. Very good. So, hey, we learned a bit? Yeah, good. Wow, we've had a cracking day. What about some questions for Pete before you go too far, Pete? Anybody might take about 3 or 4 questions before we finish.
I'll just answer the first one.
Okay.
Sorry, ladies, I'm taken.
Yeah.
And men, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's not discriminate.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all.
That's it. Anybody questions? Yeah, so Grant.
See that? I mean, a lot of those clean, crisp sites you showed were like Dropbox, Google, they're all cloud-based services. What about kind of the nuts and bolts businesses?
Yeah. So the question was related to the examples that I showed, the clean websites. So when we talk about, our sorts, they were kind of like the extremes, yeah? Google is the extreme. They have a whiteboard. I don't know if they have it anymore. They used to have a whiteboard in the Google office, and there was a number on the whiteboard. Does anyone know this story? Good, I'm just making it up anyway. No, there's a number on a whiteboard, and the number represented how many words were on the homepage of Google at any one time. And it was their challenge to try and get that number as low as possible because it takes away the distraction. Yeah, so that's the extreme. But then I showed the examples of, sites that I've worked on personally just to show you that it doesn't have to be that extreme, right? It doesn't have to be. And of course, when you scroll down the page, it's not stopping you from having more information down the page. But above the fold, we need to talk to our ideal customer and only our ideal customer. That is the only thing that we're looking to do. And for the ideal customer, we don't need to have the clutter. If you walk down the main strip of Las Vegas, what sign do you look at? But everyone look towards the doors at the back of the room. Right now, look at the doors at the back of the room. What do you notice? What sign? The exit sign, right? Which is probably a good thing because if we need it, just chase me because I'll be there first.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the first time they've looked at it today. Where is
There's
that
another one
bloody
back here,
sign?
actually. There's a secret exit at the back. But yeah, so does that kind of help, Graham, a little bit with regards to... Yeah, the primary thing is we're talking to our ideal customer. Keep it as simple as possible.
The more you can specify your ideal customer, the less decisions you have to make.
That's it. The more you specify... I couldn't have said it better myself. The more you specify your ideal customer... Just quote it as me, though. The more you can specify your ideal... Graham, hashtag, too hot to handle. Specify your ideal customer. The more you specify your ideal customer, the less decisions you have to make. Yeah, it's true.
Beautiful.
Is it advantage to create a website for each of your ideal customers?
It's a good question. Is it an advantage to create a website for each of your ideal customers? If we've got unlimited money and unlimited resources, then yeah, you can. Like McDonald's don't just have a McDonald's website. They've actually got a lot of different websites based on different customer targets that they do. And, you know, they did one for the Soccer World Cup and they did one for, you know, some kind of kiddies campaign. But for us in the room, one is generally enough because you can always create additional pages if you need specific pages directed for specific marketing campaigns. Yeah?
And sometimes it's worthwhile just getting really ninja at one. Let's just nail
Absolutely.
the first one first, because sometimes if we try to go down that strategy of having multiple websites to speak to multiple people, let's just nail one first. Let's just have that rocking out, converting, and then we can start thinking about another one.
Who's heard the term inch wide, mile deep? Inch wide, mile deep refers to your target audience. You want to be an inch wide, super targeted. It goes a mile deep. Super targeted. Doesn't mean you won't pick up the peripherals.
Yeah, they're going to come.
But Stephen's got a specific target audience that he wants for this group. But you're not all that exact person. Look around the room, right? We're not all the same. It doesn't matter, but it takes away your marketing decisions. Not everyone is going to walk in and say, you know, oh, I love the black and white lolly bar. But you know what? For the target audience, this is the message that we're portraying. This is the style that we like, right? And every now and then he drifts in with some of these colourful balloons and stuff and needs to get social proof of, so do you like it?
Do you like the balloons? It was my idea.
Can we get a vote? Who likes the balloons, the coloured balloons? Who thinks they should go?
Oh, Mrs. Dixon down the back gets 50 votes. She does too. It's like we need like 51 people in this room to top Megan's one. I don't like the balloons, they got to go. But I don't, okay. It's a simple conversation. Bugger, I think the balloons are good.
I like the balloons.
I like the balloons. Smart bloke. We'll talk about it later, whatever. All right, so one more question maybe for Pete before he gets off. Gets off the stage.
Right, got it.
There, Bob.
What about your thoughts on when you click on a website, it takes you away from the website to another site and you lose that first one you're on? In other words, it doesn't have the ability to stay there and then take you to another site, so it stays where it is. You know what I mean?
So I'll just reiterate Bob's question instead. If you click on something, it takes you to another website, closes the first one.
Yeah.
Do you own both the websites?
Do I want to vote for them?
No, do you own both of the websites?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only reason I'd ever do that is if there was a very specific and targeted campaign that I wanted people to go to that other website to and stay there. Yep, there's some very easy code you can add on a website which either keeps the current window open or closes the current window that you click off.
And another way too, Bob, if you click on something on your home page and then it takes you to another page which takes you away from the home page, that's one way it can happen. Or you can click on something on your home page which then opens up another page. Is that what you meant? And leaves the original next door and another tab up the top so you can click back and forth?
Just a bit of code. But for most of us in the room, we don't have to worry about that sort of thing because we're just going to have the one website. But if you do have a multiple website kind of structure and it's a bit more complex, I'm happy to have a chat about that as well at some stage.
Hey, I spoke to Pete. First time I met Pete, actually, was Profile Accelerator. And that was when I had my website, my number10.com.au website,
right.
which nearly cost me $100,000 to put together. And Pete was the guy I spoke to. is, mate, what are we going to do? And that's when you spoke to me about outsourcing and putting on a WordPress platform and everything else. So, Pete, I'll probably owe you about 80K. Do you take checks?
25 for the stage.
IOUs.
I can't afford proper shoes. Like, give me a break. Or a haircut. I wanted a haircut before I came. You judged me on my
he looks
haircut,
all right.
didn't you?
He looks all right, doesn't he? He looks fine. All right. How about we put a big round of applause together for Pete Kvist?
Thank you.
Killed it. Thanks, mate.